Hello, the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. What the heck is that? And are you interested? Have you heard of this Dirty Dozen and Clean 15? I'm going to go through that today and give you some tips about how to avoid and how to better understand what these categories are. I am Carol Amendola Dianca, board certified nutritionist and also known as the Italian nutritionist because of my strong affiliation with my culture and Italy. So the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 is a designation of fruits and vegetables that is compiled every year by the United States and also now by other countries in the world. And what it does is it categorizes which fruits and vegetables have the highest amount of pesticides based on farming methods that are being used around the world and which are safest to eat. And those that are the dirty ones, the ones that have pesticide residue that we want to avoid. So this is a case for organic fruits and vegetables. When we consume foods that have been grown organically, we don't have to worry about a Dirty Dozen or a Clean 15 because the foods are clean. They have not been, or as clean as can be, because they have not been sprayed with pesticides. So you may be interested, or insecticides or whatever else goes on the crops. So you may be interested, and if you're not familiar with these two categories, you may even be a little bit shocked about the Dirty Dozen, the 12 foods that get categorized every year as to which have the most pesticide residue on them. And so I'm going to just read you the list of them. Number 1, strawberries. Now, I know I've been talking about the anthocyanins and phytochemicals and how important it is to eat berries and how they metabolize slowly so that you don't get a sugar high from them. But strawberries are number 1 on the list of Dirty Dozen, but we'll talk about that. And then number 2 is spinach. And then kale even made the list of the Dirty Dozen this year. My guess would be that kale became so popular, it became much more commercially grown and can have pesticide residue. Then it's nectarines, and then apples, grapes, cherries, peaches, pears, bell and hot peppers, and then celery, and number 12 is tomatoes. So interestingly, these are all very healthful foods for us, foods that we're always pushing that we need to get more of, and yet they're on the Dirty Dozen. So what do we do about those? We wash them. We wash them the best that we possibly can before consuming. I have an aunt that actually washes her berries in soapy water and rinses them very well. That's not one of the suggestions that's being made, but if that's what it takes and she can rinse them well enough, that's wonderful. So it's recommended that even lukewarm water will knock off some of the pesticides as much as possible. As we know, berries are difficult to be able to really wash, and all of these that I've mentioned are difficult to just scrub and to get so much of the pesticide out. One of the things that's so interesting about washing vegetables is that it's beginning to be suggested to use apple cider vinegar. Another use for apple cider vinegar, my gosh, it seems as though apple cider vinegar is the panacea for everything these days, but a solution of apple cider vinegar and water, because apple cider vinegar does have natural acids in it, it is observed that it does take a lot of pesticide off of food. So this Dirty Dozen doesn't mean that we shouldn't be eating these foods, because they are very healthful and we do need them in the diet. But what it does mean is that we have to wash them properly if they were grown conventionally. And then there's the Clean 15. And so the Clean 15 that we don't have to worry about at all or as much. Number 1 is avocados. Well, you can probably assume that avocado has a nice hard peeling around it, and so the pesticides do not get inside. Sweet corn has a husk around it. Pineapple, same thing. Then there's onion and papaya. And frozen sweet peas made the list in the Clean 15. I don't know what it is about frozen sweet peas, other than sweet peas do have a nice shell around them. When they're frozen, perhaps they're just cleaner. Eggplant, which has a nice peeling around it. However, I never peel eggplant. I use the peeling because that's where the color is, and that's where the phytochemicals are that are so good for us. And it is on the Clean 15 list. And then it's asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, kiwi fruit, cauliflower, mushrooms, which of course are not grown above the soil, honeydew, and cantaloupe. So those are the Clean 15. Very, very interesting. And there's an agency in Europe now called Greenpeace that is also testing foods in Europe. And they're suggesting that even for things like bananas and avocados that we don't have to worry so much about because they're clean foods, that we should wash our hands before using them, because when you peel them, you could be getting pesticides on your hands. So it just is up to each one of us as to how preventive we want to be with the foods that we're preparing. The other thing is just to make sure that we don't get too upset and too worried about the fruits and the vegetables that are good for us, and make sure that we do continue to keep them in our diet. There was another study about the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen that was held in Australia. And Australia's data came back the same as the United States. The reason for that is Australia imports a lot of fruits and vegetables from the United States. So pretty interesting about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. I hope this is helpful to you. If it is, please give this video a like, and please subscribe so I can continue to send you some really good nutritional tips. Thanks for joining today.